Recording.
Okay, Malcolm here. As we said, our first vlog, what we do in our spare time. I do a little bit of leather crafting, as I said, so I thought that if we can get a logo or something for our vlog, it might be a nice idea. So Doug's gone on his computer and done up a little basic design for us for our logo, so I'm going to see if I can actually get it put on to leather. First thing I need to do with that is actually wet our leather and etch it onto the leather so I can actually tool it in. Normally I dink it in a sink, but this will do for now. Just going to make sure it's fairly wet, but not too wet. Just so it changes colour. And then I just wait for it to dry a little bit. And probably the easiest way to do this is just to draw straight on it. So what I do is normally find my centre spot. And basically what I'm doing, I'm just going to draw on to the design, and because the leather's wet, it puts an indent in the leather. I'm not sure if you can see, or if my hand's in the way there. It's going to be pretty rough, but I like rough because rough adds character. So many people are worried about making mistakes, but I always find that if you make a mistake, it actually can add some character and some interest to your pieces. Because no one wants things to be exactly the same every time. So as I said, I'm just drawing around. It's a very simple shape. We'll get some of these in there. As I said, I'm doing it fairly rough because I'm going to fix it up with tools when I'm finished. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way, but it's a bit hard. Okay. These ones might be a little bit more difficult to deal with because they're nice and fine. You'll see why I'm having a problem with these later when I try and carve them out with what's called a swivel knife. So you want to do this fairly hard so it actually does make an impression, but not too hard that it overmarks the leather. Alright, so hopefully when I lift this up, we're going to see it's just marked on there, not quite etched in. So the next thing I've got to do is actually cut it in, and I use what's called a swivel knife. Basically as it is a knife, and it swivels. Pretty ingenious, I thought. And then what we're going to do is cut into the leather along those lines. As you're cutting, you're swiveling with your fingers. Bit of a two-handed job, just so you can keep that curve going. There was a bit of a cut in here. Now let's do the inside. Actually, I'll start here. Circle's looking pretty rough, but when I actually tool them, I'll be able to make them look more uniform. And as again, I said before, you don't want it to be perfect because you want some character in there. So it's the easy bit. Now I could do these other ones two ways. I can just use the knife to do little things, or I could actually use a punch. I might use a punch just so we got something different to show you. If I can find them. No. That's alright. They're obviously in the toolbox, which is in the other shed. So we'll do it the hard way. And what I might do, because they were oval before, just for ease of purpose, I'm going to make them square now, because it's just going to be a little bit so much easier. And again, I'm not making them exactly the same, because I'll be able to fix them up when I tool. Just cutting deep enough so that we can use our tools in the cuts later on to give it a little bit of a 3D effect. Because you're constantly pressing with your right hand, or the hand I'm using the tool, it does get a bit tiring in the hand sometimes. So my hand's starting to ache at the moment. And because we're filming, I haven't got as much light as I normally have, and it's a bit hard to see. Alright. I'm going to cheat with the others. I'm going to use letters. That's alright. close enough. Yeah. Alright, let's give it some definition. Piece of marble, not a very big piece of marble, I'd like a bigger bit but they keep breaking. Then I've got an assortment of tools, all of make different marks in the leather. Probably the best one to use for this one would be this little bugger. And probably this little bugger. So basically you just hit into the leather and push some down, bring some up. A bit more, my trusty wooden mallet. So it pushes some of the leather down, raises other bits up and gives it a 3D effect. This is where I'd adjust some of those lines. You can see it just gives a bit of a, drops part down, pushes the thing out, looks almost raises it up. Gives it some more interest. If my hand wasn't in the way, it wouldn't be so much shadow you'd be able to see, but the way we set the lights up is always better with the, or easier with a bigger bit of leather, because it doesn't tend to move. I'm going to leave those intricate bits and do the same going around the inside. Notice I swivel it around, so I'm actually getting a piece in the middle which is going to be raised up, and the bits either side are going to be chopped down. Bit easier on the inside because I can hold the leather still with my fingers in the middle, whereas before on the outside there was no leather to put my fingers on. Okay. Because inside here I want to put some sort of texture, the other one of these, you can see he's got a little bit of texture on it. So I'm going to go around all these, and then later on fill in the whole background with some texture, so that if we do decide to colour this using either a gel or paint, the paint gets into all the little grooves and things and just gives it a nice effect. That's if we want to go that far.